Good afternoon, a very warm welcome here to Rucphen in the Netherlands. It is the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. We've moved from Val de Soleil here to Rucphen, a double-header weekend of racing, and it's going to be a thrilling one. We are in North Brabant. The weather conditions 8 degrees centigrade, 8 km/h wind, so quite steady, cloudy conditions with a chance of a little bit of a shower. And we're looking forward to a big day of racing here. Here's the standings in the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. Lucinda Brand leads over Denise Betsema in second place. As you can see, the gap now has closed after the last round. Lucinda Brand choosing not to ride in Val de Soleil, and therefore Denise Betsema managing to close the gap, but she didn't close it quite as much as we might have anticipated. Let's take a look then at the start list here in Rucphen. It's a big field of riders today. 58 riders will take to the start, and the team of Bauer's Trek Lions are back on the start line with Lucinda Brand heading that up. The Italian team here with Eva Lechner, who rode so well last time out. Sanne Cant there in the Belgian squad. And of course, all these riders will be in their trade team kits, but we run through them in their nationality order. Clara Honsinger is back in the race. Alain Clauzel there for the French team. She's been riding superbly over the last few weeks. It's been nice to see the emergence of Alain Clauzel in the elite ranks. Great Britain are there with Anna Kay. She's back in the World Cup again, wearing number 50. And then the final riders, including the very on form Maghalie Rochette of Canada and Sydney McGill, who had a really good race last time. Let's hear from some of the riders who will feature in today's race.
Maghalie Rochette, completely different ball game here than the Val di Sole is now. So what do you think of the course?
I think it's a very fast course. I think there's a lot of little twists and turns, so I think it's going to be raced in group a lot more than Val di Sole that was kind of one by one. So it should be interesting. I think positioning is going to be really important today.
After your second place in Italy, are you satisfied with less than a victory today?
Well, I'll try my best, and depends on how the race goes. Of course, I'll do what I can, and it will be totally different than last week. I expect a fast race. I think it's very difficult to make big differences, so I expect also the riders to stay with each other, and then hopefully I'll be there up front.
Will we get a race within the race, because there's only 8 points between you and Denise Betsema in World Cup GC?
I don't think so, or not from my side. I'm racing to win, and tomorrow is another race. So, and there's still a few World Cups coming, so there are still chances to win and to lose points.
In World Cup GC, you're only trailing by 8 points, so that's going to be a very tense battle with Lucinda Brand.
Yes, I think so. I hoped with the last race to stand here in the leader jersey, but it isn't. So I will do my best to take the lead.
32 from the United States of America, Katie Kloss.
Okay. Hearing then from the riders, Maghalie Rochette, Marianne Vos, Lucinda Brand, Denise Betsema, as we get ready for the riders to be called forward onto the start line. Clara Honsinger back in the colours of the USA national champion, a very focused rider there this morning. A real tussle then between Lucinda Brand and Denise Betsema, being billed as a battle between those two riders for the lead in this World Cup. Lucinda Brand dealing with things the way she always does, which is she's going to go out and ride her own race. There's no doubt about that. Denise Betsema, you get that feeling that she's got it really in her sights, that she wants to take this jersey and she's not going to rest until she does so. All the riders that we missed seeing last time out in Italy are back here this time. So it's really going to set up what is going to be a wonderful weekend of racing. Tomorrow, of course, we're in Namur for the traditional Citadel Cross. Shirin van Anrooij making her way forward onto the front row of the grid. And the last four riders about to join up as well. Fem van Empel makes her way forwards. Puck Peters, the penultimate rider to take her position. We're just over 3 minutes from the race start now. Sorry, I missed Denise Betsema there. She was just out of the camera shot. There is Denise Betsema, second place in the World Cup. You can see here, pretty damp on the road. And here's our final rider, last but not least, Lucinda Brand. She's going to make her way onto the start line. All smiles, looks pretty relaxed this afternoon. Let's take a look then at the course map of today. We're in Rucphen, we're in North Brabant. It's down in the south of the Netherlands, a population of 22,500 people. The riders make their way off the start line. 150 metres is the start run-in before we get onto the course. Course is 3,000 metres, predominantly on the flat, not too many technical sections. You can see here some of our young riders making their way onto the course, and the feature is the carousel right in the middle. A few little bridges also to contend with, and there's also quite a difficult sand section alongside the pond. A few little downhill sections as well, quite technical, a little bit tricky at times, but on most of this course there is one single track to take. Onto the stairs for the run-up. But we'll get a good look at the course as we get into this first lap. Let's take a look then at the lineup on this front row of the grid. This is Clara Honsinger, national champion. She won that last weekend. We'll see how she's recovered from the travel back and forward across to the USA. This is Anna-Marie Verst back in the race. She didn't ride last time out. All smiles from Shirin van Anrooij, missed last time, wearing number 8 today. You can see Celine Del Carmen Alvarado on the second row of the grid, just behind in the Dutch champions colours. This is Fem van Empel, had a wonderful race in Val de Sole, taking the victory. All smiles from Puck Peters, 2 second places so far this season. Denise Betsema, pretty focused with 1 minute to go till the race goes underway. 5th last time out though, Denise Betsema didn't capitalise on this rider, Lucinda Brand, not being at the start. The eyes of Maghalie Rochette, look at her in the background, the Canadian rider. And alongside Lucinda Brand, just missing out last time, Marianne Vos. Big deep breath. We're getting ready for the countdown to the start of Rucphen. The tape is there. It's about to be drawn back. The lights are red. The tape is back, the lights are red, the heartbeats will start. We wait for green. And we're underway. 58 riders. Let's see who gets the fastest start. And Marianne Vos and Puck Peters going shoulder to shoulder as they make their way drag race up this first 150 meters. And it's Marianne Vos who looks like she's going to get this first right-hand turn. Vos with a very strong start, using that road power to very good effect. Immediately onto her wheel, former teammate Lucinda Brandt. The big acceleration as Vos already opens up a couple of meters. This is a strong start by the Jumbo-Visma rider. Second place, Lucinda Brandt on her wheel, Fem van Empel, then Puck Peters. Behind Puck Peters is Inge van der Heijden. Sanne Kant is there, and there's a little bit of congestion, and one rider being caught up is Shirin van Anrooij on the left-hand side. Clara Honsinger not with a great start, which is the usual situation of Clara Honsinger. She's leaving herself an awful lot to do. 4 riders with an advantage after that little bit of traffic. A very, very good start by Lucia Gonzalez of Spain. We're on now to the carousel. Look at this. This is the characteristic carousel of the Rucphen course. Well, I don't know about you, but it reminds me of a licorice Catherine wheel that you used to get when you were kids. What an amazing sight. Pretty mesmerising that, as Lucinda Brandt tries to chase down now Marianne Vos. Vos is trying to open up a big lead already. She knows that this course, because of its characteristics, very much in the field with one single track. But if you can get out there, you can grow the advantage, then riders are going to really struggle to come back. Vos really powers it over the bridge. Fem van Empel riding superbly. Puck Peters is there. Peters we haven't really seen in the last couple of rounds, riding as well as she did early on in the season. She had that little run in Overijse and in Tabor where she looked absolutely superb. Marianne Vos onto this little tricky section now. The mud becomes a little bit different in its characteristics. Such a fast start. These riders, their heart rates will be at their absolute limit right now. Brandt following, Marianne Vos looking extremely comfortable on the front as she goes onto the run-up. A little bit of an advantage of around about 8 seconds back to this rider, Inge van der Heijden. On her wheel is Anna-Marie Verst. Then Sanne Kant having her best start as well for a little while. Every single time we come out of a corner, Marianne Vos stamps on the pedals and accelerates hard. Very disappointed last time, wasn't she, where she rode the most momentous final lap in Val di Sole. At one point in that race, she was 43 seconds down, and she rode her way all the way back to the front, almost winning the race, catching herself on that post just on that final couple of corners and losing to Fem van Empel, but it was something to admire. Marianne Vos on the moguls. Behind her, Lucinda Brandt, Fem van Empel, Puck Peters, Inge van der Heijden, Anna-Marie Verst, Sanne Kant, Denise Betsema not having a great start. Behind her, Elaine Clausel. A little bit further behind is the Spanish rider wearing 45, Lucia Gonzalez. No sign of the Canadian Magli Rochette. The riders who started front row of the grid having a distinct advantage because of the characteristics of this course, but Clara Honsinger finds her way right at the moment a long, long way back. Down in 34th place at the moment, the American champion. Oh, this is tricky. Ooh, and Puck Peters got that totally wrong, although she's used it to good effect as she dives down and takes the bottom line, but it's not the best line to take. Clearly she's decided though, if I go there, then I could move up a couple of places. But not easy to ride when you are so close to the branding there on the left-hand side. This quartet starting to form up now. Things are settling down after the initial accelerations. Well, we've enjoyed watching all of these riders so far. Marianne Vos opened up her season in Waterloo. She took the victory over Lucinda Brand. Betsema was in 3rd place that day. Vos also won in Iowa, and Betsema was 2nd that day as well, with Blanca Vass in 3rd place. And we'll see Blanca Vass return to racing tomorrow in Namur. Onto the sand. Power required and good bike skills. I was watching Tom Pidcock earlier take a look at this little section as he did his recce. Stood here for a long time working out which line he should take, how he should ride that to the best effect. Anna-Marie Verst digging in now and starting to ride her way back. She is obviously starting to recover from that early start and the push of Marianne Vos at the front. So she's not giving in at all here, and we'll see whether she can find her way back to the front of the race. First is about 5 seconds off the wheel of Puck Peters as Marianne Vos took a glimpse around. We're coming up towards the end of the first lap of racing pretty soon. 7 minutes has gone by. Over the hurdles. Puck Peters, bunny hopping those as usual, which helps her out no end, really does. The only rider in the women's field who can jump those hurdles is Puck Peters. Her skills are pretty incredible. There is Sanne Kat across the line for the first time. End of lap number 1. Lucinda Brand decides to take it on then. Here's the gap back to Anna-Marie Verst. 7:39 lap. Once it's been corrected for the start there, so 7:54. It's about a 15-second run-in from that 150-meter point. So the top 10 at the moment: Lucinda Brand, Marianne Vos, Fem van Empel, Puck Peters, Anna-Marie Verst. Then it's Denise Betsema, Inge van der Heijden, Sanne Kat, Elaine Clausel, and then having her best start for a little while, Manon Bakker of the Eco Crayland team is down in 10th place. Just to pick out some other riders: Eva Lechner in 13th. Then Anna Kay down in 14th. Magali Rochette down in 20th place at the moment. Betsema trying to follow the wheel now of Anna-Marie Verst. She's the rider there in the red and black, predominantly black kit. Back onto the carousel. Well, as they swirl their way around the carousel, you can see the different groups heading onto this particular section. I'd say if this was in Belgium, this was dreamed up after a few little beverages at the end of a Belgian cyclocross, but we're here in the Netherlands. It's very impressive, isn't it? Something different. And each of the cyclocrosses we've enjoyed so far this season have been all different. Last time out in Val de Soleil, we were treated to the snow cross. This time it's got the carousel. We go back to Koksijde, which is known for the sand. Besançon was a great course as well, wasn't it? The new course in France. Brand is kicking on a little bit, and she is putting the 3rd and 4th place riders under a little bit of pressure. Fastest lap so far then, Lucinda Brand, 7:39.3, 23.5 kilometers an hour. Marianne Vos with 23.48 kilometers an hour for her opening lap. Two teammates in that little trio, Inge van der Heijden and Anna-Marie Verse, so maybe they can try and work together to come back up to this quartet at the front. Brand really stretching things at the moment. What she's able to do so well is capitalise on the accelerations of other riders. Her top end at the moment is so strong. She's able to deal with that real load, that real intensity. And therefore today, where she's seen Marianne Vos go out, she's not been worried about that at all. She's just sat in the slipstream. Yes, she's come under pressure, but now that Marianne Vos has swung off, Brand is able to keep the intensity at a very, very high level here. And the world champion in those rainbow bands is not letting this little group come back. And Brand knows if she can continue like this, and as you know, she's taken her glasses off. She knows that she is putting the challenge of Denise Betsema for this World Cup out of her mind. She doesn't have to be concerned about it at all. This is the group of Sanne Kant, Manon Bakker and Eva Lechner, who is starting to ride again really well today. She switches up into 8th place. Puck Peters goes for the pits. She's taken her glasses off as well today. May well be because it is so grey here that the definition that the riders are able to see is just proving a little bit tricky. Peters, will she take that same line that she took earlier on? She chooses to stay high, drops down now, and is able to then switch around that corner. Betsema now in 5th place. It really is a fast race so far, isn't it? Everyone said that because the way this course is set up, it would be a very, very tough race. It would be flat out, and it's certainly playing that way. 3,000 meters, designed by Camille Vandenberg, is the course designer for today. Riders choosing mud tyres, putting in around about 17 PSI into those tyres today. Depending, of course, on their own individual weight, they'll just add a little bit, take a little bit off. But we're onto the sand again. You've got to have enough in the tyres to get you traction, but also be able to ride on that road, because it's quite a lengthy road section as well. And slowly but surely, Betsema, who uncharacteristically has had to jump off here in the sand, of which she is the absolute expert. At that moment, Betsema looked like she was coming back. Van Empel, searching for another podium, has really got herself on form over the last couple of rounds. Verst and Betsema working well together, onto the steps for the second time. so far this season then. Vos has got 2 victories. Brand has got 3 victories in this World Cup. So those 2 riders at the front, either Vos will move on to the 3 wins as well, if they continue like this, or Brand will make her way into 4 victories this season. But behind them, all these riders are trying to do what Marianne Vos did last time out. Not give in, keep riding hard. As we come up then to the end of lap number 2. Lap number 2 completed. That's a 7:39 lap again, so another 23.5 km/h average speed lap. Here's the group behind, just looking to see where they are. Around about 12 seconds, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility to come back. There's Inge van der Heijden. She's in 7th place. Group of Everlechner, around about 40 seconds down. There she is, in that pink jersey. Then Sanakant, Shirin van Anrooij, Manon Bakker. Then the next group of Celine Del Carmen Alvarado. Anna Kay is also in that group. Lucia Gonzalez, the Spanish rider, having an absolutely wonderful day. Never seen her up at the front before, but she's in 16th place now. Clara Honsinger for the American fans is 31st. Sydney McGill of Canada in 37th. Magli Rochette now down in 25th place. Here's a chance to see our front 4 through the carousel, and then there's our chasing group, and this is when they'll get a little bit more motivation. Such a good area of the course, because you're able to then go, okay, that's what our gap is, we'll try and work our way back. You must wake up though at 3 o'clock in the morning with the feeling that you're just going round and round in circles. We're going to have 7 laps today. There's still plenty of racing to go to decide the winner of this round. Tenth round of racing. We've only lost 1 round, thankfully, so far, and you'll notice today that we don't have any crowds. This Rucphen cross is having to be run behind closed doors, so there's no real atmosphere from any spectators cheering the riders on. There's a few friends and family around the course, but that's about it, unfortunately. The conditions of COVID-19 in the Netherlands really closed down now, but sporting events are allowed to happen like this behind closed doors, and hopefully things will settle down and we will be able to get back to normal sometime in the new year. Thankfully though, and thanks to the organisation, this cross is continuing. Otherwise we would lose it the way that we did lose the Antwerp round a couple of weeks ago. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's run through the top 10 riders for you as things stand at the moment. It's an all-Dutch top 7. Brand, Vos, Van Empel, Peters, Betsema, Verst and van der Heijden. The Italian Everlechner is in 8th place, the Belgian Sanakant in 9th, the Dutch rider Manon Bakker is in 10th place. Celine Del Carmen Alvarado knows this course very well. In fact, the Dutch riders know this course extremely well, because we've had the Dutch National Championships here. The last time it was held here, Celine Del Carmen Alvarado took the Dutch title. She beat Annemarie Verst into 2nd place and Lucinda Brandt into 3rd place. And on that day, Sharon van Anrooij won the junior race and she beat Puck Peters into second place. Puck Peters just dropping away a little bit. Everyone going through their own particular trials on this course. It's so different to what tomorrow is going to be all about. The Citadel Cross on Namur is such a tough course, and it's hilly. Start is extremely hard, and the course looks so different to this. Peters works away nicely along that section, still taking a different line to everyone else. Brand trying to accelerate again. Marianne Vos for the first time decides to slot into third place, letting Brand set the pace. Then Van Empel into second. This is Inge van der Heijden, who looks to be suffering a little bit now. She did go with that initial acceleration, but maybe took herself into the red zone. Celine Del Carmen Alvarado is bringing back this group of riders. There she is, the Dutch champion in the red, white and blue. Alvarado just having to manage her current program based on being a little bit sick earlier on in the season, so she's not necessarily riding all the rounds, just being careful to manage the effort, thinking about the World Championships. Vos decides that third place is not a good position for her, and Betsema comes powering through the sand. Lucinda Brand, notice that little rainbow band around the center of her handlebars. So every time she looks down, she knows that she's the world champion, a little bit of a morale boost. The gap between these riders then back to Betsema and Verst is still hovering, but they are closing in now steadily. So around about 7 seconds it was between the back wheel of Peters, but now, as you can see, visibly starting to shorten, and it looks like we might end up with 6 riders at the front. Annemarie Verst absolutely on the limit. You can see there the head is all over the place, the shoulders are hunched, and Puck Peters even decides not to bunny hop the hurdles. Betsema has got into her stride now. And the pace goes completely out of the front group, and with 3 laps completed, we now have 6 riders in the lead. Betsema and Verst have made it back. 9 kilometers completed, and no sooner have they come back than Betsema goes on the attack. And that was a 7 minutes 40 lap for Denise Betsema, but in comparison, it was a 7:52 lap for the group of Lucinda Brand and Marianne Vos. Inge van der Heijden goes across, Sharon van Anrooij, Eva Lechner, Sanne Kant there in the Belgian champions colours, Celine Del Carmen Alvarado, Dutch champion, Helene Clausel, Manon Bakker, just behind them is Anna Kay. Been a little while since Anna Kay was on the podium of a World Cup. Remember, she really had a sparkling opening to being in the Elite World Cups. Last time on the podium was in Bern in the 2019-2020 season. Annemarie Verst just making hard work of that little left-hand turn. Just hanging back a little bit. Verst is feeling the pace that's been put in here by Denise Betsema. Betsema wanted to keep that momentum going, feeling like she was in the ascendancy in this race, refusing to let the pace be dictated by Brandon Vos. Out of the carousel go our 6 leaders. Betsema leads. Her teammate Fem van Empel in 4th place, just hanging back a little. Onto the bridge. And Betsema kicks again pretty hard off that bridge. First has worked so hard to get there. You really feel for her right now. She is absolutely on the limit. She just wanted the ability to just have the chance to get her breath back, but Betsema didn't let that happen. Fierce competition between the top 2 riders in the World Cup. Betsema leads, Brand follows her. Really close contest now between these riders. Well, Brand knows all she needs to really do is follow Betsema every time. But that's not the way these 2 riders go, is it? Brand said before the start, from her side, this is not about a 2-up battle, a race within a race. This is about winning another round of the World Cup. And all the other things that happen because of taking that victory. It's a little bit strange, isn't it, going back to that eerie silence of a World Cup with no spectators. Let's hope that we get the chance to bring everyone back very soon. Betsema, Brand, Vos, Van Empel, Buck Peters. And let's just take a look then at the chasing group, who are not that far behind now. They're closing the gap bit by bit. Still around about 35 seconds behind. But we think back to last weekend, and Vos at this point in the race was a long way back and still managed to finish in 2nd place. But then that is Marianne Vos. Over the bridge for the sand specialist, Denise Betsema. Rides for the Halshausen Bingoal team, that red and black kit. Lucinda Brand riding for the Bauwaz Trek Lions. They did a training camp last week in Mallorca. That's why she wasn't at the Val de Soleil World Cup. Sanakant being quite consistent here. She seems to be finding her legs a little now, Sanakant, having had a very quiet period in world level cyclocross. But Peters using that little second channel to really good effect. We're on lap number 4. This is the 10th round of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. 6 leaders. We still don't know who's going to win here in Rucphen in the Netherlands. If you'd like to get in touch today, at Ant McCrossan is where you can get me on social media. Don't forget also, always follow at UCI_cycling. Thanks, Kelly, for reminding me that the first carousel was used in the USA on a race won by Ryan Trebon and Carmen De Lucio way back in 2003, but we really like to see it being used in these races. Just gives us something different, doesn't it? Betsema stretches the pace again. Interesting to see that two of the riders, no glasses. Behind them, Marianne Vos has chosen the yellow filter, which is why I think Brandon, Betsema and the other riders have got rid of their sunglasses, because they're just too dark. It's so grey here in Rucphen. There's no real contrast at all. It's just a grey, very difficult to see kind of scenario. Vos, of course, though, using the yellow lenses, which give much more definition. You're able to see the track, able to see the lines. Four riders just starting to work their way off the front. Peters and Verst are starting to drop away a little here, which is a shame for Anna-Marie Verst, having done so much work to get herself there, and I think she's absolutely in the red zone. Little mistake as she went over the hurdles, almost costing her. End of lap number 4, and 4 leaders with a little advantage to Peters and Verst. This might let them back in. End of that lap. Let's just see what the lap time is. It's another 7:40, so it's consistently quick. Fastest lap so far, Lucinda Brand, a 7:39.3. And that lap there was a 23.47 kilometers an hour lap. Still, this quartet continue with the advantage they have. Here's our chasers now making their way across the line, around about 41 seconds down. This is the group of Celine Del Carmen Alvarado. Looks like she's got a puncture. Elaine Clausel in the white jersey. Puck Peters, though, has made her way back onto the front group. You wonder whether they can continue at this sort of pace, because it is relentless. Back into the carousel. That's just leaning around. Can she just maintain the pace? Van Anrooij trying to get herself up a little bit further, moved herself into 7th place. There's a few riders who've been on road training camps, and the legs might just be a little heavy, but they're thinking longer term. They're thinking about the World Championships. They're thinking about other races that they want to focus on. Into the pits for the Dutch champion. Celine Del Carmen Alvarado comes out on a new bike. And Anna-Marie Verst is not in the shot now. Well, Betsema used the workload of Anna-Marie Verst to good effect. Then the minute she managed to make it to the front, having, of course, shared that pace-making, she then went to the front and accelerated, got rid of Verst. Don't discount her, though. She will continue to just try and ride somewhere off the back of these wheels. A little grimace there on the face of Lucinda Brand. You don't see that very much. The breath of these riders. This is such a hard cyclocross. We're on lap number 5 of 7. Let's run through the top 10 again for you then. Betsema, Vos, Brand, Van Empel, Peters, Verst and Van Anrooij. They're all Dutch riders in the top 7. Sanne Kamp in 8, Eva Lechner in 9, Inge van der Heijden in 10th. Pick out some other riders for you. Celine Del Carmen Alvarado in 13th, then Anna Kay of Great Britain in 14th. Then it's a little bit further back, Maghalie Rochette still riding in 25th place, Clara Holsinger in 27th. what it really shows is that if you didn't have a good start, then you are never coming back to the front. Rochette started in the second row. Honsinger started in the front row. Sven Nys just glancing out there to give a little bit of information to Lucinda Brand, shouted at her just as they made their way along that section of the course. Betsema really has kept the pressure on, hasn't she? This is an impressive performance by the rider in red and black. The riders have got a really busy time during these next few days with Namur, and then we've got Dendermonde between Christmas and New Year. So plenty of racing coming up. Thanks very much for joining us. Round 10 of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup in North Brabant in the Netherlands. Race situation, if you're just joining us, is this group of riders have dominated. Betsema, Vos, Brand, Van Empel, Peters and Verst. Betsema and Verst were the two riders who got themselves across. There was an initial group of four. There was a little bit of side-by-side racing there, and Betsema refused to let Marianne Vos through. She wants to dominate this race. She wants to ride from the front. She wants to put everybody else under pressure. When you look at this course, it's all pretty flat, apart from the little bridges. This little sand section, straightforward. Bit of a cowfield kind of cross, isn't it? Look at Brand trying to make her way up to overtake Betsema. And there's a little bit of needle going on here, isn't there? Betsema absolutely refusing to let Lucinda Brand through on that part of the course. The top two riders overall in the World Cup going shoulder to shoulder. Onto the stairs for the next time. We're on lap number 5. 37, nearly 38 minutes gone by. Now, what's it going to take to win this round? In this field, of course, Vos, who's one of the fastest sprinters on the road, and there's a long tarmac section, albeit the riders are on pretty flat tyres. Is someone going to manage to break away? Will Lucinda Brand just hold back a little and then start to accelerate on the final lap? Just takes a massive deep breath there as we come round to complete lap number 5. 2 laps of racing to go. 15.15 kilometres have been covered. Our front group of 6 reached the line again. It's becoming a little bit of a mind game. Crossed the line that time. Lucinda Brand with a 7 minutes and 51 second lap. Very much slower that time. So we've gone 7:39, then a consistent 7:40, 7:40, 7:51. Then Van Empel takes the race on. Peters tries to work her way through as well. Everyone now knows the importance of staying in your line and staying near the front. Here's the chase. Sanne Cant, 7th place for her. A good performance today. Sharon van Anrooij in 8th. Eva Lechner under pressure in 9th place. Then Inge van der Heide. Behind her is Manon Bakker. Yet again, Anne-Marie Verst is hanging back. She's like a yo-yo today. As we work our way onto the carousel. A little bit like the string in a yo-yo, isn't it? Let's see if it breaks this time. The riders going. Peter's having a problem and holds up Anne-Marie Verst. If she wins this race, she's going to have some tales to tell after this today. Van Empel takes on the pacemaking. Maybe not pushing it quite as hard as Betsema did. That might allow Anne-Marie Verst to come back. And I'm wondering whether Fem Van Empel is riding a team game here for Denise Betsema. Two riders from the Pals Sausen team. Vos in the yellow and black from Jumbo-Visma. In the World Champions colours, the rainbow bands is Brand. Puck Peters just behind in the red and white jersey as the World Cup leader. As we make our way along the pond, Betsema's trying to make her way up again. Look at the way that they're fighting. Vos trying to fight her way onto the wheel of Fem Van Empel. Sudden surges as they try to take the right line into these turns. What they're wanting to do here is make sure that they are in the front group of riders when they go through these turns, because a little bit like a criterium race in the roads, once you come out the corner, if you are the back-placed rider, you're having to really push hard, having to accelerate, and that's causing problems with the legs over time, and it's taking you in a much less consistent way of the output of your energy and your heart rate and everything else. So as you can see, the front rider is already out the corner and Anne-Marie Verst isn't even in it. Betsema takes on the pacemaking again. Vos is cute to that. She moves into second. Betsema has not won since the 4th round in Zonhoven. Vos won rounds 1 and 3. Van Empel won the last round, round 9. Brand won numerous rounds. Round 2 she won. She also took round 6 and round 8. Here is Sanne Kants, the Belgian champion. Any rider in this group has not won a round so far is Puck Peters. She's come close to second places so far. Just coming up to 43 minutes. We're going to have a race of over 50. Vos puts in a big burst of speed there. This is the hardest acceleration she's put in since the beginning of the race. The boss starts to turn on the heat on the rest of the riders. Suddenly, she has put a couple of riders in difficulty, but Betsema was aware of what was going on there. Brand was a little bit further back. And Van Empel trying to get on terms, but Vos really puts in another surge. This is magnificent racing so far. It has been on the limit all the way through. Only a couple of moments we've had little lulls as riders look around at each other. Apart from that, it has been full-on bike racing. Vos, Betsema, Brand, the trio with a little advantage on the 4th place rider, Fem Van Empel. Then Peters. Marianne Vos. We go all the way back, 2006, she won her first World Cyclo-cross title. She then won in 2009, all the way through to 2014. She took the World Cyclo-cross title before finally Pauline Ferrand-Prévot took it in 2015. Look at the face on Marianne Vos. Brand still looks quite composed, so does Van Empel actually. She still looks okay. Peter's head is rocking a lot. To the top of the stairs, quick remount. Vos is trying to drag away the top three. She doesn't have to worry then about what happens at the end. She can worry about less riders. This is a concerted effort by Marianne Vos to split this race. Over the hurdle safely. Betsema is absolutely sticking to Marianne Vos like glue right now. They're going to come round and get the bell. 3 riders in the lead. Denise Betsema, Marianne Vos and Lucinda Brandt. The bell goes, 18.1 kilometers completed. 1 lap to decide who takes this round of the World Cup. Brand attacks hard. A 7:41 lap. We took 10 seconds off the previous lap that time. Brand wants to make sure that the group of riders behind does not get back on. Over the bridge. It'll drop down now. Denise Betsema still holding on to the group. Vos takes the left-hand line, which is a good line for her. Brand didn't do that too cleanly. Who do you think is going to win? Final lap of racing. This is an enticing prospect between the top 2 riders in the World Cup, Betsema and Brand, and Marianne Vos. Here's a rider who certainly knows she's been in a bike race today. Anna-Marie Verst in 6th place. Well, the world champion looking strong. She's happy to continue to ride at the front. It's all about the line. It's all about making sure that you get through the right position and that final run into the last turn onto that road section in the right position to win this race. Betsema for the first time just loses the wheel. She's lost the wheel. She surges her way back on. Glances across. Brand and Vos on the road. You would say Marianne Vos would beat Lucinda Brand. But these 2 riders have sprinted against each other many, many times. Betsema, I don't think, is the fastest sprinter in this group. I'd say the order would be Marianne Vos, Lucinda Brand, and then Denise Betsema. But that would be if you had normal road tyres on a normal scenario and not at the end of what has been a very tough cyclocross race. Coming up to 50 minutes now. Vos looks comfortable. She'll want to turn around what happened last time out in Val de Soleil. It's still a top 7 of Dutch riders. Let's run through the top 10. Brand, Vos, Betsema, Van Empel, Peters, Verst, Van Anrooij, then the Belgian Sanne Cant, Eva Lechner of Italy, Inge van der Heijden of the Netherlands. A little bit further back in 13th, Celine Del Carmen Alvarado. Anna Kay in 14th place. Magli Rochette's moved up a couple of places. Not a great race for her today, unfortunately. Clara Honsinger has never really got going today. 27th place for her. But tomorrow will be a day for Clara Honsinger. Still, the race continues with these three riders tied in battle for the win. Brand tries again over the moguls, and she's looking pretty strong. Voss still there. Summer trying to stay with them. She loses the wheel again. The way this race has been ridden has been great to watch. Betsema hauls her way back to the wheel of Marianne Vos. Look at that, she's sprinting absolutely flat out. She just needs to get herself in the slipstream. Past the pits, still a couple of meters back. She was almost there. Now another acceleration by Lucinda Brand over the top. Takes the top line. Vos looks so focused. She's getting herself into that mindset to win this race. And the front wheel just went a little bit there, and Vos lost a couple of meters, having to take her foot out the pedal. It's also cost Denise Betsema because of that. Brand senses an opportunity, another big turn of pace. The world champion realizes Vos has come back. Still a few meters to the second place rider in the World Cup. There in the red and black. She dreams of pulling on that World Cup leaders jersey, doesn't she? But right now, she's just missing that vital ingredient in this round. Maybe took the race on a little bit early after she caught the leaders. But it has been a wonderful race by Betsema. Into the sand. Needs to remount quickly, get herself right into the wheels. Another acceleration. A surefire turn of pace by the world champion. Little micro rest through that corner. Big gulp of oxygen. Vos is ready to pounce. Tries again, just over that little section. Vos is cool, calm and collected as we make our way up the stairs. Quick remount. Brand surges again. Another big turn of pace. Vos down, trying to get herself a little bit more aero. Trying to ride her way back onto the wheel, which is what she does. She sees the rainbow bands, which she's worn so many times herself. They take slightly different lines. Vos goes side to side and comes out of the hurdles. They're going to go, oh, and Vos loses the wheel, loses the pedals. Onto the road now. It's going to be a sprint for the finish line. Lucinda Brand round the corner first. Marianne Vos challenges. It's going to be a drag race. Lucinda Brand, Marianne Vos. Marianne Vos wins. It's a hat trick in the World Cup this season. Marianne Vos wins in Rucphen. What a finish to the race. Third place, Denise Betsema. Well, for a moment it looked like Vos had lost it. Fourth place for Fem van Empel. Fifth place for Puck Peters. Coming around the corner then is Annemarie Verst, the winner in Koksijde. She was there in the lead group, but today the legs have just given out. What a race that was. She was on the limit for the last few laps. Over the hurdles for Shirin van Anrooij. She's riding in 7th place. Sanne Cant will be pleased with this. Van Anrooij makes her way round, another top 10 finish for her. Seventh place for Van Anrooij of Baloise Trek Lions. Sanne Cant in 8th place. She'll be happy with her progression. She's not winning yet. She's showing signs of coming back. Eva Lechner now in 9th place. Another top 10 finish for her. 4th last time. Eva Lechner 9th. 10th for Inge van der Heide. Then it's Perrine Clausel in 11th place. Behind her is Manon Bakker. This is Manon Bakker making her way to the line. She'll finish in 12th place today. Then a little bit of a tussle going on, but it looks like 13th place will be Anna Kay, who's coming back after being hit by a car in training. Then it's Celine Del Carmen Alvarado. She's in 14th place today. Behind them, look to me like Annemiek van Elfen. Coming up to finish then, Alici Arzuffi, the Italian champion. Coming round the corner is Yara Castelline. These riders will know they've been in a bike race today. That was a flat-out race from the start and never relented. Yara Castelline 19th. Laura Verdonschot is in 20th today. Just behind will be Marta Troyen. And Elaine Clausel down in 22nd place. And then after 2 podiums, not her day today, Magli Rochette comes round in 23rd place. Behind her, Lucia Gonzalez. Rochette will fight another day tomorrow in Namur. Well, the Spanish rider was really high up in the standings early on in the race. Let's just take a look then over the hurdles. Marianne Vos took the line, the feet came out the pedals. She was everywhere trying to get her feet back in the pedals. But when she came round that corner, she got in the slipstream. Brand opened up the sprint, but Vos managed to fire past her to take the victory. Let's hear now from the winner of today's race. Marianne Vos wins in Rucphen in the Netherlands. Let's hear from her now.
Marianne Vos, geweldige overwinning. Je kreeg een déjà vu, want ja, het ging bijna mis in de laatste bochten. Je schoot uit je klikpedaal. Vertel eens wat daar gebeurde.
Ja, het was natuurlijk al hard tegen hard op het laatste stuk. En ja, het was lastig om Lucinda te passeren. Die zette goed druk, ook voor de zandstrook. En ja, toen wilde ik er na de balkjes voorbij. En toen schoot ik over het pedaal. Dus ja, toen was het nog even hard zoeken. En nou ja, toen nog maar alles balles.
Schoot het scenario van Val di Sole heel even door je hoofd?
Nee, ik had blik op Lucinda en richting de finish.
How tough was it to recover from that technical mistake right at the end?
Well, it was a very, very fast race, and if you make a small mistake, then yeah, it can make the difference. So luckily, I could make up and start a sprint again.
Yet you made a couple of mistakes in that final lap, and Lucinda tried everything to get loose of you.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's very fast, so it means that if you make like a small mistake, it can make 10 meters, and 10 meters can make the difference in the race.
Your fourth victory ever here, first in the World Cup on this soil. What does it mean to you?
Well, of course, it's very nice to win the race, and it's a World Cup. It's in the Netherlands. Of course, it's without spectators, but anyway, it's a great atmosphere, and it's very nice to take the victory.
Thanks very much. Congratulations. Proficiat.
Thank you very much.
Marianne Vos.
Marianne Vos wins here in Rucphen, the first time she's won this cross. That last lap was the fastest lap. Let's take a look back at the highlights of today's race. A very fast start. Marianne Vos went out and blew the race apart. The carousel was the little bit of fun in this race. Vos, though, on that first lap, just took away that group of 4 riders. And behind, it took a long time before the second place rider in the World Cup, Denise Betsema, came across with Anne-Marie Verst. This is the moment where the 6 riders came together. This was lap number 3, and then from this point on, it was Denise Betsema who decided that she was going to try and put all the other riders in difficulty. Betsema really put on the pressure. She had a few tangles and tussles with riders who were trying to take her line, but she refused to let them through. Lucinda Brand tried, Marianne Vos tried. This is the moment where Puck Peters had a little bit of a problem on that hill and cost Anne-Marie Verst a few meters. And as Marianne Vos said, today, if you make a little mistake, it costs you 10 meters. Such is the tempo and the pace in today's round of the World Cup. Towards the end of the race, Marianne Vos split the race up. She took with her the riders who ended up in the top 3. Brand in the World Champions colours, Denise Betsema in red and black. Marianne Vos just losing the pedal here or there. But this is the moment when she tried to make things count. Over those hurdles, the foot came out, the wheels were all over the place, but somehow on this finish straight, Vos still had the power to find her way past Lucinda Brand. 3 wins in the World Cup for the Jumbo-Visma rider in the yellow and black. Stunning win today. Betsema took 3rd. She will lose a few points in the standings. Let's take a look then at the results of round number 10. Marianne Vos wins ahead of Lucinda Brand with Betsema in 3rd. Winner last time out, Fem van Empel in 4th place. Marianne Vos takes the win today. We're going to hear shortly from the other riders in the top 3, Lucinda Brand and Denise Betsema.
Lucinda Brand, geweldige slotronde, maar ja, uiteindelijk kon je het net niet halen. Vertel eens.
Ja, vertel. Het is gewoon super snel en een dieseltje tegen een Ferrari, dat werkt niet echt in je voordeel natuurlijk. Dus ja, ik heb er alles aan gedaan om natuurlijk proberen te winnen, maar ik moet gewoon heel tevreden zijn met de 2e plek.
Ja, je zette alles op die slotronde. Dat was het plan vooraf, dat wist je al. Ik moet zo lang wachten.
Nou, kijk, toen in het begin van de koers probeerden we wel gelijk door te trekken, maar je ziet hoe moeilijk dat is. En eigenlijk niemand wil het ook echt natuurlijk op kop rijden, omdat je in het wiel gewoon het voordeel hebt. Maar goed, ja, het is ook weer niet te ver van achter, dus het was wat tactisch.
Fast course, but how tough was this race? Because it looked like really one hell of a race from the outside.
Yeah, it's really tactic and explosive. On a high speed, so it's really different compared to other races where it's more on the power, and here you need to combine it with the speed, so it was definitely tough.
Congratulations on runner-up today and still leader of the World Cup, Lucinda Brand. Denise Betsema, Je reed ook een geweldige race, moest een tijdje achtervolgen. Heeft dat jou krachten gekost die op het einde dan van pas hadden kunnen komen?
Ja, zeker. Ik merkte die laatste ronde dat de power gewoon een beetje uit de benen was. En ja, ik had die eerste 2-3 rondes gewoon echt heel veel moeite gedaan om de meiden die voorop waren te achterhalen. En ja, dat is gewoon balen als je zo'n slechte start hebt. Dat moet je daarna bekopen inderdaad.
Gevoelsmatig, die Camille's carousel, hoe komt die binnen als rijder? Hoe vreemd is dat om daar rond te draaien?
Ja, dat was voor mij de eerste keer. Dus ik vond het wel tof om daar eindelijk eens in te rijden. En het is inderdaad wel iets vreemds, want ja, je rijdt heel dicht langs elkaar, terwijl het verschil toch qua secondes groot is. En dat is misschien toch ook wel een beetje verraderlijk soms.
Denise Betsema, was third place your maximum result today?
Yes, for today it was because I had a really bad start and then I had to follow, and the girls in front, they were so fast and strong today. So third place is the most I can today.
Today's effort, how will you take that with tomorrow's race in mind, Namur?
I think this is good for me to go to tomorrow. It's a different race then, more climbing and everything. That's also something I really like. So a podium spot for me today is good, and I hope tomorrow the same, of course.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Proficiat met de derde plaats.
Dank u wel.
A reminder then of the result of today's race, which all the riders have said was a full power flat-out bike race. Marianne Vos wins in 54 minutes and 14 seconds. Brand takes second, Betsema in third, which means that Brand will open up the advantage in the World Cup. Can digest now the rest of the riders and see where the riders you were cheering on for finished today. We're ready for the podium of the 10th round of the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. Op de derde plaats geëindigd. En dat mag gepaard gaan met een absoluut dubbeldiek verdiend applaus. Hier komt ze op rang 3 geëindigd, Denise Betsema. Onto the podium for the third place rider, Denise Betsema.
Ja, Betsema junior mee op het podium inderdaad voor een keurige derde plaats. Er is de burgemeester van de gemeente Rucphen, mevrouw Marjolein van der Beer-Moor. En die heeft bloemen en de box uiteraard voor Denise Betsema.
Betsema takes third place today with one of her children with her. Lucinda Brand hardly off the podium this season. Back after missing Val de Soleil, straight back on the podium again.
Bloemen ook voor Lucinda Brand. Knappe tweede plaats. Zij is op de dikste.
The riders will be taking mud out of their eyes for a little while yet. Marianne's dad there in the background. He's always around. Marianne Vos.
De overwinning dus geboekt door Marianne Vos. Haar vijfde veldrit van het seizoen. Het is een derde
top step of the podium today. Second last time out. Once she comes back into cyclocross, she really does energize it, doesn't she? It's already energetic, but she adds that little extra spice.
We hebben de wethouder, dat is Martin de Bruin. En die heeft nog een mooi pakketje met streepproducten hier van de
The last presentations being taken place now. No fans, of course, all of this for television. And Marianne was reflecting on that situation during her interview. We wait then for the national anthem.
Laat het maar horen voor het podium bij de dames. Denise Betsema, Lucinda Brandt en de winnares Marianne Vos.
There's our podium today.
Koksijde dames, geweldige wedstrijd gereden. Heel snelle cross is het geworden, maar een knap podium hebben we gekregen met deze drie uiteindelijk hier bij ons als nummers 3, 2 en 1. Betsema
Marianne Vos will have moved up a little bit in the standings.
Marianne Vos. Zoals gezegd, we hebben nog een paar etappes te doen in deze huldigingsceremonie. We gaan zo meteen.
Denise Betsema just needs a round, doesn't she, where she closes that gap more significantly. As the gap has opened up now. Brand leads with 282 points. Betsema in second place. The gap grows. 269 points now. 13 points the difference. Puck Peters now in third place.
Ja, voor de Zonhoven allemaal weer de burgemeester, mevrouw Marjolein van der Meer met de box en uiteraard de bloemen voor de leider.
World Cup leaders jersey about to be presented.
Lucinda Brandt.
En de trui wordt haar bij deze overhandigd.
Ja, door Kees Koolse, voorzitter van het organisatiecomité.
Brand pulls on the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup leaders jersey. We haven't seen this too much this season because the World Champions jersey takes precedent over the series lead. There she is. She'll take that into Namur tomorrow.
Ook het jonge Nederlandse veldrittalent heeft zich vandaag opnieuw
Well, thank you very much for joining us for the women's elite race. Here in Rucphen, Marianne Vos back on the top step of the podium. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.